So, what are you hearing about the quarterback scenario in San Francisco, and the ordering of the depth chart there, Mike?
Well, clearly Brock Purdy's the starter if he's healthy, and all indications are he's healthy. Now, they're not using him every single day. They're giving him time off. They're letting him ease into it. But anytime anyone is asked about Purdy, the response is positive and glowing, and Purdy is saying all the right things. The question becomes, is it Sam Darnold or Trey Lance is number two? And 49ers fans get curiously upset when I say it sure seems to me like Darnold's going to be number two. When you look at all the glowing things that Kyle Shanahan says about Darnold, it started in the offseason. They were putting out the word that he's the most talented thrower of the football that the 49ers have perhaps ever had at quarterback. And there were some comments from Shanahan to Mike Silver, now with the San Francisco Chronicle, that kind of compared, while saying, I don't want to compare him to Steve Young, why can't he be another Steve Young? So I think it's going to go Purdy, Darnold, Lance when it's all said and done, but they're going to keep all three of them because last year they needed QB3 by the time they got into December. And if any team is cursed at the quarterback position, it's the 49ers. And if any team needs to have three that they feel good about, and I think at one point Shanahan was talking about keeping four on the 53-man roster, the 49ers are the team that needs more quarterbacks, not fewer.
You know, and I know, I get the same thing whenever I say anything about Trey Lance on the old social media machine, and I understand, if there's anybody who understands fans' comments on subject matters, it would be you, Mike, but I don't understand the sensitivity about that because I'm not trying to stir anything up, and the stirring up normally would be, well, if this guy craps out, then the coach and the general manager who drafted him would be in trouble. But that is the furthest thing from the absolute truth with San Francisco. And if Lance doesn't work out there, then, I had Daniel Jeremiah on yesterday say, he said, this has no insider information, just looking at rosters and looking the way things work out. He goes, if it doesn't work out for Lance in San Francisco, Atlanta would be a nice landing spot if Desmond Ridder doesn't pan out. I don't understand the sensitivity on the subject matter here, Mike.
I don't get it either. I think part of it is there are plenty of people who use their voice on social media but don't otherwise use their eyes and ears to listen and hear what's being said and aren't following it as closely as you and I do, so they're stunned by the idea that Trey Lance would fall behind the guy who was seeing ghosts against the Patriots on Monday Night Football and the guy that we just assume is done because it failed for him in his first couple of starts, and look at everything they gave up to get Lance. There's a certain organizational pride that goes into seeing Lance thrive, and you don't want to admit that your team screwed up, but they did. And they balanced it out by getting Brock Purdy with the last pick in the draft the next year.
Yeah.
It's not like they're walking around saying, oh, woe is us, we made a horrible mistake with Trey Lance, but they did make a horrible mistake with Trey Lance, and that's okay. You can't wallow in it. You just move on. And I think the main reason he's still on the roster is, as a third overall pick, the slotted rookie contract, as veteran backup contracts go for quarterbacks, this is a pretty good deal to keep him around at that number. They know they need three. They would trade him if someone blew them away. Let's say there's another Teddy Bridgewater torn ACL like what happened late August of 2016, and someone comes calling with a 1 and a 4 like the Vikings did for Sam Bradford when they were desperate to replace Bridgewater, then I would think they would consider it. But they know they need to have him around. He's inexpensive, and he's got 2 more years before he just walks away as a free agent. And I fully anticipate that to happen unless they do trade him maybe next year in the final year of his contract.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.